Welcome to the White Chair Beauty Series, episode 2.
Hello.
It's been a week, and we're trying to do 1 or 2 episodes a week. We're trying. So this week, we want to go over how do you know when you're ready to own or start your own beauty salon business. So that's mainly what we're going to go over today. And, just go over the factors when you get to that point where you're, hey, it's ready for me to start my own business. I feel like I'm growing. When did you feel like when you're ready?
Well, I think we kind of went over it in the last episode, but I wanted to get a lot of experience under my belt. I wanted to feel really secure in all the services that I was doing, so I could give clients, the best possible service, and I didn't ever feel like I was in the weeds, or I wanted to really perfect and hone all of my skills. So that took me about 7 years, actually, and it won't take that long for everybody necessarily, but for me, in order to feel really comfortable and confident, I wanted to have a ton of experience.
Yeah, specifically when we talk about our business, we are a brow bar, so we do a lot of brow services. You were working at a brow bar, so that's mainly all the services that you learned. And
what I will say, sorry if I can interrupt, I went to a place when I started doing brows. I went to a place that I would see clients literally every probably 15 minutes. Sometimes I'd have 2 clients at the same time, but that really was great for me because then I could really perfect my brow waxing and my skills and all of that. So I think that's important. Go to a place where you can see a lot of people throughout the day because you'll just get better and better.
Yeah, and when you're busy, when you stay at a fast pace, it prepares you
For sure.
for the real business world, because you have to understand when you actually when you start your own business, a lot of people will say, hey, it's going to be less work. I have free time. I can work when I want. No, it's the opposite. You have to be prepared. You're actually going to work 2 or 3 times harder because you have to do a lot of it. So you have to do now. You're your own marketer, you're your own accountant, and you have to get people to the door. So that's one thing everyone has to understand. You're going to actually work harder.
Yes, 100%. Thanks for watching the White Chair Beauty Podcast. Today we have a 50% off promo code for all of our viewers. Type in the White Chair promo code at thebrowfixacademy.com and get 50% off of all of our classes. These are great tools to enhance your service menu, enhance your revenue, and learn how to do all of these services. In-depth training by yours truly, me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks. Have a plan in place for sure. Like, you want to be able to plan financially. We had a full your
action plan. So
yeah,
that's one thing I can kind of go over is, just so obviously not out of the limb, you're not gonna be like, let's start it. No, you have to prepare yourself. Maybe it takes a year. Like, maybe you have a set plan, like you're working somewhere, like, hey, and it triggers it, and you're like, hey, I think I'm ready. And then it might be 6, 8, or a year from that point. And your goal, I think, when you're working at a beauty salon is to build clientele. Right? You're working for a beauty salon, and it's, their right to have those clients for them. But that's why you ask in a way with the clients, hey, I'm going to be moving on, or I'm going somewhere. I'm going to start my own. If you want to give me your information, your details. We kind of went over that in the last episode, but you want to capture their email is very important. So you want to capture their email, phone number, anything they provide, first and last name. And then once you get a threshold of a certain amount of people that you have and that you think that they're loyal, like, I think with you was around like 230 to 260. I don't know exact number, but that was your threshold. That's the number our goal was to hit like 300, but we didn't. But we're like, hey, we're kind of ready. They like you. They've been going to you for a while, and that's how. Is that briefly how?
Yeah.
So that's how I think you need to prepare, and also save money. So I would advise saving at least 6 to 9 months, a year to be safe, but 6 to 9, I know that's really hard. Maybe go out, ask family members for a loan, save your money. So stuff like that, I would definitely, because in this business, how long do you think it takes for you to, like, when you notice your repeat clients?
By the 3rd time, you can tell if they're repeat. I think there actually is statistics out there. If somebody comes to you for 3 consecutive visits, they will be a client for life. As
Got
long
it.
as, yeah.
Yeah, that's when you focus on the turnover rates
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I think typically to build a good repeat, so you want to keep your retention rate in this industry, you above 50% at least. People like 10 people visit you a day, all new customers, at least 50 to 60% you want to keep as a repeat client, and that's by providing customer service, amazing service, stuff like that, and your prices. So I think that's
And also, I just want to interject another little statistic that actually I learned when I was in beauty school. It's 80% of the way you make people feel and 20% of the actual service you do. So if you give people the best customer service, you make them feel so good, you're actually interested in their life, you want to build a relationship with them, and then you do an amazing service,
Yeah.
even if you do, the best job you can, but it's not like the best brow wax in the entire world, they will come back to you because of how you make them feel.
So you're basically you're like their personal, what do you call it? Psychiatrist, not psychiatrist.
Kind of a brow therapist. That's
Brow
what a lot of
therapist.
people call me.
So you,
Yeah, you just want to, like, that's my love for people is so strong, and I want to get to know a person, and I want them to feel so comfortable the minute they enter the room. I never want them to feel uncomfortable, and just I love getting to know people, and so that makes them feel good, and then you give them an amazing service on top of that, and they will come to you for life.
Yep, definitely agree. Building a personal relationship is any business. When you're reaching out to someone, like let's say if you're doing cold calls or you're doing email marketing, you touch on personal notes with them. Like when you send these emails out, you want to get personal, and obviously business promo offers, but it's very important. That way you build relationships with all your clients.
Yep.
So what should someone consider? So when you're moving on, you know, hey, I want to start my beauty salon or beauty, I want to open up my own storefront or work inside of a Salon Republic or get a chair somewhere. What should someone consider before choosing what services to start with in their business? So I know you were in a brow bar. So when you were shifting to start your own business, how do you know what services did you know to? Hey, I want to do this.
Well, I was already proficient in brow waxing, threading, tweezing, tinting, all these services that aren't really that big of ticket items. So I think for me, I knew I wanted to add either a lash service, something that I could get done quickly and has a higher price point, because then that can increase your income. I mean.
Yeah, and I think besides that, so when you worked at we don't want to name, we say that place. We always say we don't want to name places that you worked.
No names.
Yeah. So you did body waxing too, and you didn't enjoy it. You didn't. So that's one thing, you have to enjoy what you're doing. So we don't do we do actually do body waxing now at one of our locations. But we have, brow artists and estheticians that work for us that are comfortable and they enjoy doing it. So that's something
Yeah, it's also personally, if you naturally gravitate towards body waxing and you love that, do that. If you gravitate towards lashes and brows, do that. Whatever you're into, makeup, do that. You can add those services on, but you just want to do something that you know that you can get really good at, and you'll enjoy it as well, because you don't want to be doing something just for the money. I mean, I feel like anybody that just goes into things for the money, you're not going to be successful, or you'll hate what you're doing even if you make money.
Yeah, and also when you start your own business, don't fill your services with all these menu items.
Oh yeah, too many menu items because it's too confusing.
So it's hard to market, number one, because you're like trying to reach out to all these people. Stick to a specific, like you mentioned this in the last episode, niche. So you're a brow bar, you're a nail salon, and obviously throughout the, as time goes by, years go by, you're like, hey, I'm going to add this service. I'm going to add this service.
Add things as we go along.
Because you're growing your clientele, so you can email them, and then at the same time, it's easier to do conversions, convert them to different services. So that's one thing. And also, marketing perspective, how I typically look at it is, I look at what people are searching online. So I add services based on search volume. So brow waxing is very popular. Getting a manicure, pedicure cure is very popular. So in a marketing perspective, the view I look at it is, I see that people are searching for these particular items or services, and that's why I need to add these services, because you get a higher impression rate. You know, more people, you get a more volume of certain services, people looking at online or Instagram. Specifically, I focus on Google because that's where people generally go when they go on their phone. They're like, oh, a nail salon near me, hair salon near me, keywords that they use, that they search for. So that's one thing. I look at the search volume, popular services, and then high ticket items. So that's mainly how I will look at it as, you know, this is a way that I'm going to add these services to our salon. And obviously you don't want to start your business with like 3 or 4 services. You want to have at least, you know, 15 to 20 different services that you can start off with. I mean, you don't have to, but I would recommend having a good amount. That way you have people filling up those time slots.
And also, when I was starting my own business, lash lifting had just kind of blown up a little bit. Like, it hadn't actually blown up, but people were starting to kind of learn it, and I had seen it online a little bit, and I'd had a couple clients tell me about it, and so I was like, this is something that I could add to my service menu. I know that I could do it. I went and got certified and trained. You know, I practice on every single person, and so I was kind of a little bit ahead of that curve, and so I think that also too, if you can find something that's like just coming out or is popular, that will give you like the one up from somebody else or from a normal, you know, salon.
Yeah, and lash lift is a high ticket
Yeah.
item. We charge $150, but we see ranges from 100 to 120. Average is about 120, but to 150. We include tints with ours as well. So yeah, adding a high ticket item. Once we did that, we saw our revenue, our gross, like go up.
Huge increase.
Yeah, and because you can do, that's a really good upsell.
Yeah.
So if someone gets a lash lift, you can do a brow wax or something.
And the good thing is, I think people are going towards more natural versions of being beautiful, or things that, you know, don't require a ton of time, or like extensions can take 2 hours to do and they last maybe 2 weeks. A lash lift can last 4 to 8 weeks.
But that's still a good industry, lash extensions.
It is a good industry because there will always be, you know, a market for that too. People love extensions. I love lashes myself too. I don't have naturally beautiful lashes, you know, already. So, but yeah, so I feel like people like anything that's natural or, you know, is going to be their natural lashes.
Yeah, and that's why the Brofix Academy that we have, we teach, we do online courses for brow laminations, lash lifts, and then brow waxing to also, you know, give you more or thorough knowledge or educating yourself more on these services. But lash lifts, brow laminations now is a high ticket item. Brow lamination specifically, if they do that, then they would want shaping, tinting. So highly recommend salons to do that, and for, you know, to take a look at our courses online.
And now we actually have our own products, our own lash lifting and brow lamination products. Amazing. Yeah. On all skin types and people.
Yeah. Speaking of products, that's another thing. Having good quality products at your salon. Don't go the cheap route.
Yes.
Get good quality, because that's what your customers want, is high-end quality. The reason why we have our own lash lift products is we tried so many. We got expensive ones. We bought ones on Amazon. We tried all different ones, and the main issue we were having specifically, because we use our lash lift in the product for brow laminations as well, we were getting like an orange hue or orange color to the brows. A lot of people were complaining, oh, I got my brows are orange now. And we're like, oh, we have to tint it. You know, it's an easy fix. And then ever since we started using our kits, has anyone ever? No, I think maybe one, but I don't even think one.
No, it was because she had tanner on. But honestly, it does not do that.
Why is it important to offer at least one high ticket service when launching your business? Kind of, it's like we go over it, and it's the next question. So,
well, first and foremost, I will say, usually a high ticket item is a little bit longer of a service, so it will fill up your day faster, which makes you feel. I mean, I'm telling you, when I have like a busy day, it almost creates like a momentum that I'm busy, and then that almost manifests itself. You know, if you're just sitting all day scrolling your phone, like sitting there bored, that kind of creates something too, right? So yeah, if you have that one big ticket item that takes you a little longer, and you'll feel better about yourself, you'll obviously get more income. And then you'll have your books full.
Yeah, definitely.
And it looks good for other for clients when they see your books full. They're like, it almost creates a sense of
urgency to
Yes.
book. Hey, I need to book as soon
Yeah.
as possible. But yeah, high ticket items typically they take a little longer to do the services, but mainly is because of the price points and the profit margins. So when you do I'm gonna just use lashes. I mean, you can do facials, any other high ticket items for any other industry. Focus on those and focus on your profit margin on it. So ours is, like I said, 150 that we charge, and then the cost of it is obviously the labor, how much you value your time, what you're worth, and then what the cost of the goods are to do the services. So, and there's a very high profit margin when you do lash lifts and then brow laminations. And brow laminations has the most upsells by adding the services. So profit margin for the high ticket items, and then making yourself busy. So adding, and also when you add more services, more appointments. And I feel like we're just talking about like the brow industry. No, for what is it like for high ticket items for nail salons? What would it be?
I mean, they're always trying to add on. You want a massage with this? You want to, you want a paraffin
Those are
dip?
those are the upsells.
Those are the upsells. Those are the add-ons. But yeah, I mean, like every single time I go get my nails done, they want to try. I do like a gel manicure. They're like, "Why don't you do the dip?" And I'm like, "The dip is more expensive." I know it is, And does it really? You want the gel polish that goes over it that makes your nails stronger?
No, but these are those are good things.
Yeah,
Really, when salons do that, that's amazing because you're offering this high, a more expensive. And that's not when I say high ticket, it has to be $1,000 service, but it's more expensive.
But every little bit adds up, and then it creates, more income for you in the end, So even like as we're talking about it, like it doesn't necessarily have to be a big ticket item, but say somebody has a brow wax and you add on a tint and a lip wax and a sideburn wax and whatever, like that's going to make it a bigger ticket item. So add-ons could even be that as well.
Yeah. And then what would you say, like what kind of clients typically book high-end services, and how do you track them to your salon?
Well, usually like for our big ticket items that are like, say just talking about a lash lift or a brow lamination, for example, it's usually people that want to wake up and go. It's like, I just woke up.
Well,
like
no,
that.
This is not for just, sorry.
Oh,
you
you mean
higher end services, not like just big ticket.
So people obviously that have, more income that can afford those type of
I would say,
services.
I wouldn't say about, well, you do. So,
or sometimes people save up for.
well, when they say higher end services, based on your location, you set your price points.
Yes.
So if you're, let's say we're in Santa Monica, and then there's Beverly Hills, and then there's the San Fernando Valley, you adjust your prices accordingly by doing your due diligence and research on different salons offering those.
Well, even like in our LA salons, we charge more than our Austin salon because of that reason.
Yeah, so like, for example, I mean, it's a $10 difference and $20-$30 difference, but for certain services. But yeah, you look at you do your due diligence, you see what other salons are offering or what their price points are and that. But yeah, I mean, high-end services, if you're offering them, usually it's geo-targeted clients. So the second part of the question is, how do you track them? Is when you create ads, when you do Instagram ads, you geo-target, you segment your audience on, hey, this, this is their income level, this is where they live, and stuff like that. That's how you typically would attract more, if they want to spend more on high-end price, services. That's mainly one thing that I do when I'm doing marketing for it. But I think in the beauty industry, if you do amazing work,
People will come.
People will come regardless of unless you have a ridiculous
Well, people, look at women spend thousands on injectables, and the med spa industry is insane. So they will spend money on lash lifts and brow laminations in their brows because it's significantly cheaper than going and
I agree, and
getting Botox.
A lot of estheticians or someone that's starting off going on in their new venture, starting a business, are kind of like, I would say, nervous or scared for putting expensive prices. Unless they're ridiculously high, be confident when you put your prices out there and your work that you do and the services you provide, because people will pay for it if you do a great job and you're confident in the way you set your business, the branding, how you brand your business. Unless you're going after like celebrities and you want to charge a ridiculous price, I think just be confident, reaching out to these high end services for these customers, and that you'll be surprised they will actually pay for it. And then obviously sometimes there'll be customers saying, hey, that's a pretty high price, or this is what, this is pretty expensive. But like, that's our price point. That's how I value your time. That's what I always tell you: value your time, value your worth. And when you go into this, when you go into this industry.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add on to that, or?
Well, about like price points, we get that sometimes because we do threading, and a lot of people are used to like the hole in the wall threading spots. That's $15 for a brow thread, but you're going to get a different experience when you come see us. So we have had people, when they ask us our price, they say, oh, that's so expensive. But we are doing a full brow consultation. We are taking our time with it. We're not just like,
that's the branding part.
Throwing you in the chair and going.
Yeah, that's the branding part. You give them an experience. Yeah. So they're coming there for your experience and for the service and the quality of the work. So that's when you do that with your business. Think of the whole experience from start to finish. So from when they sit down inside the chair, hey, go over their shape, talk to them. That's when you build that personal relationship with them. Like, hey, you want to do this, you want to do that. Oh, I mean, obviously I don't want to say you, how would you do it?
Yeah, I go over their brows first and foremost to make sure we're both on the same page. That's an insurance policy for me, A, and B, then they know what to expect. I can't tell you how many people have sat in my chair and they're like, I've never had a brow consultation. To me, that's like doing a haircut and not like just starting to cut. So to me,
we won't go deep into that part of it because we're going to have another episode on building a rapport and stuff like that. But I think that pretty much answers that question. Do you need in-person training to add new services like the lash lifts and brow laminations that we talked about?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think it depends on the person, like how experienced you are. If you already have a lot of experience with brows and lashes, you could probably take an online course, no problem, and then just practice. But if you're somebody that's a little bit more, needs a little bit more hands-on training, then I would say you want to do like an in-person.
Yeah, I think it's mainly, I would say it's more of their comfort level. So in today's world, with all the technology and everything going on, that's why we're doing ours online, is because we provide a thorough, high definition training course, and we provide the products. So it's all about the comfort level of the individual in person and online. Regardless, once you learn how to do it, or you have to go practice with with any service that you learn. So train, and it's your comfort level, I think. So I know we kind of went over this. So why does the quality of the product matter, especially for your industry? I mean, your industry, the brows and lashes. I mean, for nail salons or anything, why does the quality really matter?
Well, especially when you're talking about lash lifting and brow laminations, that is a chemical service. So you want to make sure your product is, has been tested thoroughly, and you know what you're putting on people's eyes, because A, you're working with people's eyes, and B, you don't want to fry off their lashes or do something crazy. I've seen people come in and they have just horrific things that have happened to their brows and lashes. So you want to make sure you're using high quality products for that, A. And then for waxing, and it's people's skin. So you want to make sure you're using something gentle and something that's not going to irritate them, because then they will come back to you. If you are ripping off people's skin or using things that are hurting their skin or irritating, they won't come back.
That's with any industry. You get facials somewhere, you want to make sure they use use a quality product.
And especially like we said about big ticket items, or charging a good amount for your services, you want to give them the best products possible, because you're charging a higher price point.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like I want to say no brainer, but quality is so important. When you go to a restaurant, you want quality food. When you want to go somewhere, you want anything, you want quality. And providing a quality service and products that you provide is crucial for repeat customers. So make sure you do use quality products, and then you provide the best customer service and experience
Yes.
for your customers. And also the techniques that you do. So how you use the products really matters as well. If you were to start your business all over again today, which one service would you build your business around, and why?
Well, probably lash lifts, because they are a high
Ticket.
ticket item.
We keep talking about that, but I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
But I think honestly, just like we did surround our business with brows, there's so many different avenues and aspects. And I think also because I know how to wax and thread, that kind of set me apart. I mean, that's a whole nother maybe episode, but threading, it really does set me apart from other just regular waxers, because I can do both, and a lot of people can't wax. So I would say either setting up your business around something that maybe somebody else can't do, like a specialty, or a big ticket item that you can master.
Yeah. For me to answer that question, I would say I wouldn't change a thing. Or, I mean, if it was me, because I don't believe in one specific service. I know you want to add these services, but it's your branding and going into a specific niche. So if you're a brow salon, focus on all of that.
So do you mean like whatever you're really good at, that's what it should be? You should surround.
No, it's what you're branding yourself as. So that's why the way you name your business, the way you brand it, even the colors you pick, it all matters. So if we're the brow fix, and we focus on the brows, and the lashes are extra services that we added on. So if someone opens up a nail salon or a hair salon, and you find out, this service, lashes do great, those are high ticket items, let's make that the main service. You can't do that because that's not your business.
Yes.
So the way you brand your business, the way you market it, and the way all of that matters on. So I wouldn't specifically pick lashes or anything for us. I would stick to my branding, stick to what works for me, and then grow from there. So that's probably my main.
Yeah, I would say whatever you're best at. Like I had mastered brows, so that's why we
do brows, and then lashes. You master that.
I introduced that later.
Yeah, so that's mainly. I mean, my focus would be.
Perfect.
Anything else we need to do? Any other questions you had that we can ask?
No, but you totally cut me off when I was talking.
When?
That's rude.
Sorry.